to everybody watching, I'm Anil Mall. I represent the Canadian Securities Exchange, and you're tuned into another CSE listed issuer update. Today, we're speaking with Mr. Klaus Eckhof. Klaus is the president and CEO of AJN Resources, Inc. The symbol is AJN. Klaus, thank you so much for your time today. I hope you're doing well.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to have me there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Perfect. Klaus, why don't we begin by just getting a brief introduction to AJN Resources and the focus of this company?
The company originally listed with a focus on various gold assets in the DRC, which we haven't put in the last 24 months because gold was a bit difficult to raise capital for. So we switched into lithium, and the focus at the moment is lithium, but we haven't forgotten about the gold assets because they're suddenly becoming again attractive.
Klaus, speaking of the DRC, which for viewers that might not be familiar is the Democratic Republic of Congo, I want to talk a little bit or get your insight into that region in Africa. What makes you and your team so bullish of having projects in the DRC?
Well, our team has worked there over the last 25 years. We started with Tiger Resources, which is now in production in the copper region. Then after that, we did Moto Gold Mines, around 20 million ounces, sold that to Randgold, which then was taken over by Barrick, and which is now one of the most profitable sort of mines, I guess, for Barrick, or very important at least. After that, we moved on, and then we created Alphamin, which is now one of the biggest or one of the big tin producers on the planet with the highest grade deposit, 4.5%. And then we organized another project for another shell, which was Manono, which is now one of the biggest lithium projects in the world, hard rock. And since then we listed AJN and looking at a few other opportunities in the country.
So you and your team obviously seem to have quite a vast experience putting projects together in that region. Can you maybe talk to our viewers about some of the challenges you might be facing of having projects in the African region?
Yeah, you have to be patient. It's a high cost country. It's US dollars. And then it's French. So that's a lot of Canadian and Australian explorers. Plus you have to have time, so it's projects to get a nice project takes us 3, 4, 5 years. But then, you have I wouldn't say no, but you have a lot lower geological risk than in other countries where for example, Australia can be bought out, which is world class, or which can go into production. But then we would change usually the management because we are just 2 geologists who are running it.
Let's rewind back to 2023. Can you walk us through your program in 2023 and what the company what milestones the company had accomplished?
Yeah, we acquired around the Manono area, on strike and adjoining to the Manono project, which has the 400 million tons of lithium there. We acquired several licenses, which are continuations of the pegmatites. And then we looked at a parallel belt to the south, which has similar signatures, 7 to 14, 15 kilometers in strike length, and occurrences of lithium on the surface. And those areas have been soil sampled, drenched, etc., etc. They're basically all drill ready. And on some of the licenses, we just started drilling.
How's the infrastructure in that region?
That's the challenge. It can take you 3 or 4 weeks to get from A to B for 300-400 kilometers because there's a rainy season there. And this year, the rainy season has been a lot more worse than it usually is. Hence, quite a fair bit of delay and breakdowns to get the drill rigs on site.
I mean, the weather, we cannot control that. So I'm guessing with having projects in that region, planning is a big part of, making sure that everything goes in according to your timeline. Now, 2023, we're already we've completed the first quarter of 2023. What's happened with the company so far?
Well, we got another drill rig on the road since 3 weeks, but it, again, as I said, it has been hampered by rain and bad road conditions. But we'll have it on site probably in the next few days, and then there will be some bigger program happening there, and hopefully some results also within the next 3-4 weeks.
Klaus, earlier in the call, you spoke a little bit about some of your past accomplishments. Can you maybe again summarize for our viewers your background, how you got into this space?
Yeah, what I usually do is, I look for big projects, world-class projects, which can be brought into production, and that usually takes 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Historically, I mean, if I look back over the last 25 years, it takes 4 to 5 years to find the right project, but then we're very, very quick usually. I mean, Moto Gold Mines, we drilled out 20 million ounces in 4 years, and then the same for Alphamin, we drilled that one up quickly. It's producing now, makes $50 million net profit every quarter. So what we usually do, we're very aggressive. We're trying to get 3, 4, 5 drill rigs on site because the overheads are expensive in the DRC. And if you have 1 or 5 drill rigs there, it doesn't really change any of the overheads.
Got it. Klaus, you mentioned world-class projects. What do you consider to be a world-class project? What is the checklist there?
Well, for example, Kibali is world-class. It's a high-grade gold deposit. It's paid off for Gold to take that over. And if you look around, like Alphamin, 4.5% tin average grade. If you look around Australia, it's 0.1. Namibia, it's 0.1. It doesn't exist anywhere else. The grade is king.
Got it. Now, what differentiates you and your team from some of your peers that might be in the space?
Well, we're not acquiring licenses in Australia or in Canada really, because it's the geological risk for us is way too high. For us as geologists, we just rather prefer a little bit more political risk rather than have huge geological risk to find something. It's actually beneficial for us too, that the DRC is considered to be difficult to work in because there's no competition.
Are there any milestones? I know you mentioned an upcoming program, but any other milestones our viewers can look out for from you and your team in the coming months?
Yeah, I mean, there should be some results in Q2, at the end of Q2, hopefully, weather permitting. And then also, as we always said in our presentations, the gold assets, we're still looking at those ones. We haven't discarded them. So they might be revived again.
Klaus, where can we direct our viewers at this time to get information?
Yeah, to ajnresources.com. There is a website there, and you can also contact me whenever you want, and my address. So I'm usually very easily contactable.
Klaus, I appreciate you taking the time to join myself and talk to our viewers all the way from France. And I look forward to hosting you on, let's say maybe towards the end of summer when we can go over some of the results from your upcoming program.
Perfect. Yep. Thank you very much for the opportunity again.
Absolutely, anytime. And we at the CSE wish you and your team nothing but success as you move forward in this path. To everybody watching and listening, you've been hearing from Mr. Klaus Eckhof. Klaus is the president and CEO of AJN Resources, Inc. It's AJN on the CSE. And again, we appreciate you tuning in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.